Hello and welcome again. We are delivering lectures on standard material of mechanical fourth semester BTech of MDU syllabus. I hope the past two units have you have attempted, all of you have attempted, and in case you are feeling any problem, any difficulty, or any topic you are not clear of, you may get in touch with me at my phone number. Otherwise, I have done very hard to explain all the things on the screen, and hope you have got better understanding of the material subject. Uh, and since this is an analytical subject and this is a base on future of subjects, so future of subjects means we have coming subjects in in third year and final year. You have many subjects that are based on this material. Earlier we have studied a subject called engineering mechanics in third sem of second year, and that was also based. So later on, we went on and created a subject that is material, and that is based on engineering mechanics. The uh, force analysis and other parameters analysis knowledge is very important. Is basic requirement for understanding the strength of material, and there we have studied this subject, moment of inertia. So this topic, moment of inertia, is again repeated in fourth semester. In third sem, we have studied moment of inertia in engineering mechanics. Now this topic is again repeated in the material of fourth subject. So we have to again study this subject, and I think in the previous semester clear we have the clear concepts of uh, moment of inertia. But again, this time I'm reiterating that this is very important topic for future, like machine design and other subjects that you will be having in third year and final year. So these subjects will are based on the basic analytical knowledge of force analysis and various other parameters like stress, like strain, like velocity, acceleration. These are the parameters that you have again to utilize, and you have to build the base in order to uh, design and drive, in order to design and develop various systems and processes where you will be utilizing these all basic concepts of mechanics and string material. That's why string material becomes an important subject. So it has not only it has got applicability, but at the same time, many future developments are based on this current subject or this present subject. So you have to carefully concern all the subjects. You have to carefully consider all the topics, all the relevant aspects of this subject, and then you have to move forward. So still we have, I suppose that you are not having any problem in understanding this subject. Still you have many doubts. Still you may have doubts. So you may get in touch with me at my phone number, and my phone number is 9069360400. So, okay, so yesterday we introduced the moment of inertia again. So, in third sem, we have studied the moment of inertia and we have derived all the relations and we have attempted many problems. So, this time again, we have to repeat the whole exercise since this topic is again in the material. So, today we'll be discussing again the moment of inertia of materials. So yesterday we talked about the moment of inertia. The moment of inertia, once again I repeat, moment of inertia is the property that is associated with the opposition of translatory or opposition of rotational movements. So when you try to rotate a body, the body resists, and that is because of moment of inertia. As you have seen that moment of inertia or inertia force is also responsible for translatory movement, also responsible for opposing the translatory movement. When you are pushing a body into a straight move, pushing or pulling a body to move in a straight line, you will find that body is resisting, and that body is mass or movement or inertia. So we talk inert word is the base of inertia, and this way inert is inert synonymous for stability. So everybody wants stability, and the bodies are no more exceptions. They are they want stability, and they don't want to move either. They want to stop. If they are moving, they don't want to stop, or if they are not moving, if they are stationary, they want to they want to be stationary. So when we try to rotate a body, the resistance is created by a property called moment of inertia. So inertia is the property, and we are taking moment as we have discussed earlier. A moment is nothing but force multiplied by perpendicular distance. So if we are taking moment of force, this is product of force as well as perpendicular distance. But if we are taking moment of inertia, it is moment of inertia, then this is distance multiplied by area or mass or the property that we are considering. Because moment may be of force, moment may be of area, moment may be of mass of moment, mass of force, mass of area. So these are the relevant parameters, and movement is the criteria or the parameter of measuring different quantities. So we have earlier studied moment of area, moment of force, then we have studied moment of area, and again we are doing it. We have talked about centroid. We also discussed about centroid, center of gravity, and center of mass. The basic difference is that centroid is of the central point or the focus point of the bodies who don't have any mass or weight, like rectangle, like circle. They are just bodies. They are just covering areas, and they don't have any weight or mass in themselves. So they can be treated as wireframe. If you are having a circle or rectangle, then it can be treated that they are wireframes. So they are hardly any there is hardly any mass, hardly any weight. Similarly, case of line or point, these are basically uh, massless, massless areas or massless bodies. A line doesn't have any mass, or a rectangle doesn't have any mass, or a circle is also supposed not to have any mass. So in that case, we will be having the center point or the point at which all the area is concentrated is known as centroid. And in case of center of mass and center of gravity, we have bodies that have mass and that have weight. So center of mass will be the center point or focus point of a body where whole of the mass is concentrated. Similarly, center of gravity is the center point or the focus point of the body where the whole weight is concentrated. So this is the difference between centroid, center of mass, and center of gravity. So now we are calculating moment of area. So this is also called second moment of inertia, area or moment of inertia. So in this case, we are considering the bodies don't have any mass, and they are concerned they are having only areas. So that yesterday we talked about second moment of area, and then moment of inertia. Then also discussed about moment of inertia. I will show the slide that I yesterday depicted. Then we have discussed about the relativity of the moment of inertia. So we have moment of inertia about an axis. So it could be x or y. So if we are having moment of inertia about x-axis, and we are having moment of inertia about y-axis, and if we sum up these two, we'll be having moment of inertia about z-axis, also called pole. So that is called parallel axis perpendicular axis theorem. Today we'll discuss parallel axis theorem. Yesterday we talked about parallel axis theorem. That parallel axis theorem is that we have moment of inertia about an axis that passes through the centroidal axis, and then we have another axis system that is at a distance of d from the original axis. Then moment of inertia about this axis ix will be ig, that is moment of inertia about centroidal axis, plus a into d square. A is the area of this body, complete body, and d is the distance from the new axis or about which the inertia is to be computed, and this is the basic line or the centroidal axis. So Ix is equal to Ig plus Id square. This is parallel axis theorem. Now we'll talk a little about this parallel axis theorem, then we'll come to the examples. Parallel axis theorem, as we discussed, area is, we have taken an elemental area, significant elemental area, and if we found moment of inertia about x-axis, Ix, about x-axis of this area, then what we'll do, we will integrate from here to here, complete area will find. First of all, we are taking an elemental area, and this way elemental area is given by dA, and we know y is the distance from the axis Ix. So we have taken distance y, that is distance from Ix, y square into dA. dA is elemental area. The square of the distance from the axis multiplied by elemental area is the x, is the moment of inertia, moment of area of second. This is also called second moment. Since we are taking twice moment, first we are taking y into dA, then again we are multiplying the y. So we are having second moment of area or moment of inertia about x-axis, and this can be given as Ix is equal to integral y square dA, where dA is the elemental strip or elemental area that we have to consider right now. So we have got y square dA about x-axis. Then we are coming. What we'll do? We'll find distance of y in terms of y dash plus d. This was y from here to here, and centroidal axis y dash plus d. So we have got y dash plus d in place of y. So we can put y dash plus d whole square dA. Then we will break up. Then after expanding, we will find as integral y dash integral y dash square dA plus twice y dash dA plus d square integral dA. Why? Because when we'll open, we'll find y dash square plus d square plus twice y dash d. So we have taken 2 out, and we will have multiplied 2 y dash d a into d. So this is the expansion of this substituting square, and then we have integral d square d. So the first integral is about the moment of inertia about centroidal axis. We know that this is given by centroidal axis. Moment of inertia about centroidal axis is integral y dash square dA. So we can replace Ix. So similarly, the second component of the first moment of inertia. So computing, putting up these values, we'll have integral y dash. This is d square integral dA y is y dash. So cancelling out. So we'll be finding integral y dash. So this is centroidal moment Ig, or also called Ix bar plus d square a. After integrating dA, we'll be finding dA. So this way, this is the simple solution. Since y dash dA is, so the second component is the first moment of area about the centroidal axis. So this is the centroidal axis. So y dash, substituting this value, we'll be getting Ig plus d square a, or Ix bar plus d square a, where Ix is the moment of inertia about centroidal axis, plus d is the distance from the x-axis, and a is the area of whole body. So this way we will be finding, proving parallel axis theorem. Now come to the example, and we'll find some examples. So we have to find the moment of inertia of this body of a rectangle that has b as a distance and h as a height, b as a length. We are seeing from for front. So we are having b is the width and h is the height or length. So this way we'll be having y square dA basic formula, and then y square, if we are taking 2 elements, then we are having y square dx dy integral 0 to h and 0 to h height, and then 0 to b if we are considering elemental strip dx. So in case of dx, the limit will be 0 to b, and for elemental y, the distance will vary from 0 to h. So y square dx dy, so we'll integrate. So this will be, after integrating, y cube by 3 and y cube by 3, so we'll be having y cube by 3b. So we will be taking limit, and this limit will be 0 to h, substituting h, b x cube by 3, and this is moment of inertia about x-axis. This is the moment of inertia about x-axis. So we have integrated y square with dy, and we don't have any x, so we will be integrating. So this way we will find the moment of inertia about x axis, or an axis that is parallel to the base, that is ix, and this way it is found as bh cube by 12. Now, alternative model method. Recall the method of finding centroid of composites body. So that is also another method that we are not going to discuss right now, because in mechanics we have discussed, we have found centroids of all the bodies. Then after centroid, we have multiplied the distances from the composite bodies to the distances. So that is a lengthy process, and but of course that is a straightforward process that does not require so many twists, and uh, that does not require special skills. Anybody can apply those, but in this case it is a little twisty and it is a little complicated. But at this stage, we are not going to apply that basic uh, geometrical formula of a founding moment of inertia. This time we will be applying integral formula of evaluating moment of inertia about any axis. Now, this is the basic. These are the basic formulae and standard formulae of moment of inertia. Bh cube by 12, that is the basic formula of rectangle. We know about x-axis and y-axis both, we have bh cube by 12 and hb cube by 12 if you are trying to find moment of inertia about y-axis. This is bh cube by 12 in case of ix, and in case of y, hb cube by 12, that is related with moment of inertia of about y-axis. And about z-axis, we will be adding these two and we will be finding 1 by 12 plus 1 by 12 will be giving us 2 by 12, that is 1 by 3 bh cube by 12, and that is centroidal axis. We have already studied the parallel perpendicular axis theorem. So adding these two will be giving us the moment of inertia about z axis, that is also called pole. So we'll be adding these two, and similarly the case is with triangle. In triangle we will be having bh cube by 36 about x-axis, about y-axis it will be bh cube by 12. So in fact, a triangle is half of the rectangle. So this will also be half. So this is the case. The centroid lies at the h by 3 from the base, and it has a height of h, and b is the base of a line of the base, or width of the base. Then we have bh cube by 36 ix, and iy is equal to bh cube by 12. From here to here, this is bh cube by 12. Similarly, ix is equal to iy is equal to 1 by 4 pi r square, pi raised to power 4. Moment of inertia about x-axis is equal, both in equal case, x and y both are equal, pi r raised to power 4 by 4, and j naught, that is perpendicular axis, that is iz, will be pi r raised to power 4 by 2. Adding up these two will give the moment of inertia about the perpendicular axis. So we have moment of inertia about semicircle as Ix is equal to Iy. Again, pi raised power pi r raised power 4 divided by 8. Similarly, adding these two will give us 1 by 4 pi r raised power 4. So this is the semicircle. Then quarter circle is again we have this distance and this distance. So this is r. So this is pi r raised power 4 by 16 and pi r raised power 4 divided by 8. So this is the case of Ix and an axis that is perpendicular to both x and y. So J naught is the polar moment of inertia that is given by an axis that is perpendicular on both the axes or z axis. In case of ellipse, last case, in case of ellipse, this is pi a b q by 4, where a is the minor axis and b is the a is the major axis and b is the minor axis. So I x is equal to pi a b cube by 4. Similarly, this can be interchanged and Iy is pi a cube by pi a cube b by 4. And adding these two will give us 1 by 4 pi a b within bracket a square plus b square. So these are the moment of inertia of basic shapes that we can extend to any shape that is complicated, because shapes are composites and they are made up of different shapes. So adding all these shapes, we will be getting moment of inertia. So this way we will be having moment of inertia of many shapes, and this can be derived, and we can find the moment of inertia of any composite shape or complicated shape. So this way we are going to calculate the moment of inertia of a T section, that is inverted T section, and we are having 9 inches as the base and 8 inches as the height, and as is given. So we are having 9 inches as the base and 8 inches as the height, and we are having thickness of the inverted T is 2 inches and 3 inches. One side in y direction it is given as 2 inches, and this side it is given as 3 inches. So how we'll proceed to find moment of inertia, we have already discussed, but right now again we are going to introduce how to calculate the moment of inertia. Or first of all, what we have to do, we have to take total length. Total length is given as 9 inches and total length is given as 8 inches. So we'll draw a line in between these 9 inches. We'll draw a line from half of the 9 inches, that is 4.5. At 4.5, from here to here 4.5 and from here to here 4.5, we'll draw a line. So when we'll draw a line, straight line from here to here in y direction, what we will see we have a symmetrical shape on both sides of the line, y line. So on the left side as well as right side, we are having 4.5, 4.5, same distance and same symmetry is also maintained. So this way we can conclude that the centroid lies on the center line of the shape, center line of the shape. That means this way Ix will be 0, 0. Ix will be 0, 0 because the line is passing through the centroid and the figure is symmetrical about y axis. So distance from y axis is always given as x. So this we will find that centroid lies at the center line. So will not be having any value of Ixx. So Ixx will be 0, or Ix that is passing through the centroidal axis, or axis that is passing through the centroid is moment of inertia taken out. So we'll be finding Ig is equal to 0. Now come to the next step. Next step is we are having 8 inches as the height. When we are having 8 inches, we are having 8 by 2, that is 4 inches, and from 4 inches, from bottom to 4 we'll come here and we'll draw a line, straight line from here to here. So when we draw a straight line, horizontal line at 8 inches, at 4 inches, we will see that the body is not symmetrical about the x-axis. On the top side it has only this much area, whereas in bottom side it has inverted T, head of the T. So this way we can see that the figure is symmetrical about y-axis only and not symmetrical about x-axis. So we have to find, that means that top upper portion has smaller top portion, or top half of the body has smaller area, whereas the lower body has greater area, higher area. So this way the centroid of the body will shift. So it is not at the center line, and this way the centroid of the body will shift somewhere near the baseline. So we have to calculate I by y, because from y axis the distance is always x, and from y and x axis the distance is y. So we have to find the, first of all we have to find the centroid from here to here. So we can say, we can, first of all we have to calculate area of these two bodies. So we have made composite area. First body is 3 inches this one and 6 inches this one. So we have made top body portion, that is A1, that is 3 multiplied by 6, 18 inches square. Then again if we take bottom body is 9, 9 is the length and 2 is the height. So bottom body is also 9 into 2, 18, 18 inches of area. So we have, in this case we have both the areas 18 and 18. So first we have taken the bottom portion. This one is bottom portion. A1 is the bottom portion and A2 is the top portion. So here we can see that centroid will lie from the x-axis at 1 inch, because this is rectangle of 9 by 2 inches. 9 inch length, 2 inch height. So the centroid will lie at the center point. So from here to here, from x to up, we will come 1 inch, and this is 1 inch from the x-axis. Again we'll calculate, we'll take centroid of this body. So this has a height of 6. So when this is height 6, it is 3 inches at the center point. The center line will pass at 3 inches. So the centroid of this body, of top body, is 3 plus 2. If we are coming from here, first we have to pass to 2 inches to come to start of this body. So 2 inches plus 3, so this is 5. So at 5 from the bottom we will be having centroid. So it is clear, we are having 1 inch plus 5 inch centroid, 1 into 5. Now what we'll do, we'll multiply these two. 18 into 1 is 18 and 18 5 is 90. So first, then we will multiply 18 1 18 5. So this is the y yi multiplied by ai. This is yi by ai. So this way we will be adding and we will be finding 19 plus 18, 108. So this is yi by ai is 108. Now second comes is 36. How it is found? So this is the area of this body plus area of this body. So we are having 18 inches square of this area, then 18 square inch of the top body and 18 lower body. 18 plus 18 is 36, and this is area by area. So this is 108 inch cube divided by 36 inches square. And if we cancel out 108 by 36, we will be finding 3 inch. So 3 inch is the point where 3 inch is the point 2 plus 1. So 3 inch from the bottom is the point where the centroid of the whole body is lying. We have seen the lower portion of the centroidal axis, below the centroidal axis, has more area as compared to the top portion. So the centroid has been shifted to bottom area, and then this is found as 3 inches we have seen. But in case of this is y bar, and as I told that there is no x, because y-axis, the centroid lies on the y-axis. So we'll be having bar x as 0 and bar y as 3 inches. Now come to find moment of inertia. It 18 plus 18, 6, 1, 5, 18, 90, 108. Now we'll be having 6 into 6 by 5. So this is the distance, 18 into 6. So I we have found. So then we have 54I, and then B minus 2 and 2, and then we have 72, 72. Adding these two, will be getting. Basically, what we have done here, we have found the total, the centroid of the body, composite body. The centroid of the composite body is 6, is 3, is at 3, and the centroid of the top body is at 5 inches. This is centroid of the, sorry, first calculate the bottom body, then we have centroid of the bottom body at 1 inch. This is centroid of the bottom body at 1 inch, and the whole centroid lies at 3. So 1 minus 3 will give us minus 2. This is minus 2. Similarly, we will be having centroid of top body, and the bottom body, the centroid of the bottom top body is at 5 inches. 2 plus 3, 5 inches, and centroid of the bottom body is, centroid of the whole body is 3 inches. So 5 minus 3 is 2. So 5 minus 3 is 2. So this is again 2, minus 2 into 2. So we will be multiplying D1 square into A1. So again squaring and adding area will give us 18 fours are 72. Similarly 18 twos are 18 fours are 72. So D square A, 72 by 72, 72 plus 72 will add up, and this will be 144. So this will be having 144, and we will be adding 144 plus 60 inch. We have calculated the moment of inertia about centroidal axis of about x-axis in the previous case. So will be adding, and this will be finding 204 inch raised to power 4. Because moment of inertia has 4 dimensions of area or mass or whatever. Moment of area, second is called second moment of area, and inch is power 4 depicts area into area square. Similarly, moment of mass will be moment of inertia will be n raised power 4 if it is case we are taking mass. So this way we have calculated the Ixx and Iy values of this problem. We will be taking another problem in our next class, in our next lecture. So for the time being, I am signing off. In case you are having any difficulty in analysis of moment of inertia or any problem related or any concept related confusion, you may get in touch with my phone number, and my phone number is 9069360400. So I am signing off for the time being. Goodbye.